Hey guys, my name is Bethany, and this is the Enneanerds podcast.
Hi, everybody. My name is Grace, and I am an Enneagram 7.
So, today we are going to be talking about something kind of silly. This is actually going to be a mini episode for us, because we're trying something new. Grace, you want to talk about that?
Sure. So, this is our kind of inaugural podcast episode that is also going to our YouTube channel. So, hello if you're watching from YouTube. So, we now will be, of course, anywhere that you listen to podcasts, but we will also be on YouTube where you can watch us, our pretty faces as we talk. So, this might be a little bit of an adjustment for us, but I'm very
Mhm.
excited. I love YouTube so much.
Yes, and Grace is going to make a beautiful YouTube page for us, and it's going to be wonderful, and I can't wait to see it all. Hopefully, by the time this goes up, you have
Yeah.
made it, but we'll see. Um, so, so today we're doing a little mini episode about what I think each number is as a sandwich. I love sandwiches. They're quite possibly my favorite food. And that and like I really love rice as well. I don't and so I don't know why. I just do. So we're gonna talk about sandwiches. I made a list and I did not consult Grace on this list because I feel like I nailed it. I feel like I'm right.
You're an expert.
Yeah, and so so Grace is going to put her little comments in there, see if she agrees or not. But and also, this is a totally random order that I'm going to go in. So
Ooh.
sorry, order.
I just want to say one thing. I like this topic because it's a little bit of a throwback to like season 1 Enneanerds. Because when we started Enneanerds, it was all about like super quirky, weird lists,
Right,
but
right, right.
then make it Enneagram. But we've gotten, and I'm glad we have, but we've gotten a little bit more serious and a little bit more vulnerable and stuff like that, which is still great. But like, I love just a throwback to our weird, quirky. What kind of sandwich are you? Make it Enneagram, you know?
Right. I feel like this goes along the lines of like the typing your pet episode
Yep,
or what kind
and the
of hobbies you
vacation.
right, what
Yeah,
kind of hobbies you should try, like that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with 5 because obviously I know myself the best.
Mhm.
And I said a 5 is like a club sandwich. And I said a club sandwich because they're classic and they're reliable and there's no need to switch anything up. They're predictable, they're safe, and that's what I feel a 5 is. And it's classic. That's what I thought.
I feel like 5s also, like, really know themselves,
Mm,
and so no matter what kinda sandwich you like, if you're a 5, you know what your sandwich is. So you just
mhm.
happen to choose a club sandwich, but I
Right.
feel like a 5's just always gonna know, like, "Nope, this is what I like, I'm sticking with it. Don't
Mhm.
try to rock the boat."
It's true. And
7.
most most of the time I get a club sandwich. Like, it's just my
Mhm.
personal favorite sandwich. So, I just might be a little biased. I don't know. So, then for 9, I went to 9 next, because we talked about 9s in the past
Mhm.
when we were kind of brainstorming this episode because since we
Yep,
know a lot of 9s. And we asked your mother what she thought the 9 would
yep.
be, and she said a club. I said, "No, that's taken. You can't have the club." So then so then she was like, "A BLT," and I was like, "Okay, you can have BLT." And the reason we think the 9's BL or I think a 9's BLT is because 'cause they're easy to switch up and they're you can go with the
Mhm,
flow, like, if you wanna put an avocado on that BLT, go right ahead. A 9
mhm.
wouldn't be upset about that. If you wanna
Yeah.
put an egg on the BLT, go right ahead. Anything
Mhm.
you wanna put on there, I feel like a 9 is so easy, go with the flow that it fits them perfectly.
Yeah, exactly, and I can understand being married to a 9 and having a mom who's a 9. You know, a lot of times when I mean, maybe not necessarily for me because I'm vegetarian, and so they don't always order what I order, but I could see both my husband and my mom just being like, "Yeah, just order 2 of those." Like, just, so you're
Mhm,
right. So if I
mhm.
ordered a BLT with avocado or,
Right, 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 right.
I don't know, cotton candy, they would probably just be like, "Yeah, sure. Just I'll take that too."
So then I went to 2,
Mhm.
and so I think that the 2 is a grilled cheese, and
Perfect.
right? Okay, so I was thinking, what's like a heartwarming,
Mhm.
cozy sandwich that plays well with
Mhm.
others? And I
Mhm.
was like, it's a 2. They're a
Yeah.
grilled cheese, because they also pair with soups, and if you
Yeah.
wanna add some meat in there as well, you can,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
fine. I don't think they'd be upset about it. And so I
Yeah.
say grilled cheese for 2.
And I just pictured twos a lot of times having that like you said heartwarming, which is a good
Right.
word, but also just like that childlike, like warmth and fun and sweetness. And so, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, like a throwback to childhood, I think would fit, even though I eat grilled cheeses literally all the time. So it's not a childhood thing, but I see that correlation there with the two.
Mhm.
So I
Right.
think that's a great, perfect choice.
Mhm. I'm just so glad you agree with everything I say. It
Yeah.
makes this so much easier.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so then I was thinking about the 4, and I was like, "You
Mhm.
know what a 4 is? It's not really a sandwich." A 4 is gonna be
Mhm.
something that's, like, sandwich adjacent. And
Yeah.
so I said a 4 is gonna be avocado toast,
Yeah.
which I know, like, and they're probably rolling their eyes at me because it's, like, trendy for avocado
Yeah.
toast, and they're like, "No, we don't wanna do trendy things," but listen, hear me out. So they're not really a sandwich, but they have all the components of being a sandwich. And you can
Right.
add whatever food items to the
Mhm.
avocado toast to make it your
Yeah.
own. You know,
Yeah.
like if you want to put everything but the bagel seasoning on there, you can. If
Yeah.
you want to put an egg on there, you can. If you want to put bacon
People
on there,
put, like, salmon
yes, on
on
avocado toast.
that's so weird, but go for it.
Right. You can make it unique. And
Mhm.
so that's why I think a 4 is an avocado toast. Not really a sandwich, sandwich adjacent, but
Oh, yeah. I would have said avocado toast or, like, some kinda wrap because, like, absolutely, I
mhm.
do agree with you on that one, I think. And the thing is, avocado toast, yes, is, like, new and trendy, or it's, trendy and cool now, but, like, it is, just a couple years ago,
Mhm.
it was kind of an under the radar kind of a thing.
Right.
So I could see fours being like, I'm so unique and special because I like avocado toast. So,
Mm, mhm, and now it's like a thing, so they probably don't like it so
yeah,
much, but that's fine.
probably not.
Anyways, moving on. So now let's go to the 7. And is
Yes.
this the and this may have been the one you said when we brainstormed, I couldn't quite remember. Was it the
Mhm.
Monte Cristo that you said that you were?
We mentioned that for sure. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and because it's not an average sandwich by any means.
Mm-mm.
You do not get this on a regular old Monday. Like, it's a
No.
special occasion kinda sandwich, and it's
Yeah.
adventurous because it's, like, dipped and fried, and if you don't know what a Monte
Yeah.
Cristo is, it's a sandwich that has, like, ham and am I wrong? Cheese?
So much cheese.
Like,
So much
right, a lot
cheese.
of cheese, and then they, like, deep fry it
Yep.
in batter, and then they put powdered sugar on it, like, it's a
Yeah, it's
whole
salty and
thing.
sweet.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. And I feel like that's salty and sweet, that's your new, like, tagline for me. So
Well, I think this also fits because, I mean, obviously not me because 'cause I'm just perfect all the time, but I think some 7s can be a lot because we do tend to have a lot of energy, and we do wanna move to the next thing, and we get bored so easily. So, I could like a Monte Cristo, I've had them in the past, but I don't know if I've ever actually finished one because they're just so rich,
mhm,
and,
mhm.
like, they are so sweet and so savory and just so unhealthy. So, I feel like that fits a 7. The adventurousness, yes, but also just because it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, and I've never had a Monte Cristo because I feel like I would go into cardiac arrest if I had one,
You might.
and so
Mhm.
I stick to my clubs.
If anyone listening ever goes to Disneyland, they have an amazing Monte Cristo, so
Oh,
I recommend that.
I've never been to Disneyland either, but I digress.
Oh, get out.
I know.
Mm.
It's gonna be a trip one day.
Oh,
So,
yes.
okay, now we're going number ones, and
Mhm.
I said for the number 1, a French dip. It's
Mhm.
classy, it never disappoints, it's a
Mhm.
little fancy, and they're also held to a higher standard. Because anybody who likes a French dip, it's like, it's gotta be a good French dip,
Oh, you're right.
right? I
Yeah.
personally don't get French dips, but my dad does, and my
Mhm.
dad is a 1, and so I think that he, like, is particular about his French dips, so I feel like
Mhm.
it nails it, but I also might just
Yeah.
be picking people's favorite sandwiches. I don't know.
No, I think that's really true, and I think what you said about, like, they know how they like it, and I feel like anytime someone gets a French dip, they're like, "Well, this is good, but this is not as good as the best one that I ever had at insert
Right.
restaurant," you
Exactly,
know?
exactly.
So, yeah. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have thought of that at all. Because 'Cause I'm like you, I don't really care for those either. So, they don't really cross my mind very often, but
Mhm.
yeah. Ooh,
I'm
nailed
telling
it.
you, I nailed every single one of these. You can't disagree with me.
Mhm.
Okay, so then for the 3, I picked a Reuben, And I picked a Reuben because they're the showstopper sandwich. They're bold in
Mhm.
flavor, and it's like they're trying to impress you because you get the
Mhm.
best cured meat off of the Reuben, the melty cheese, the rye bread. Like it's almost all the best ingredients put into a
Yeah.
sandwich. And so it's a
Yeah.
showstopper. I think it's perfect for the
Yeah.
three.
They're also enormous
They are.
sandwiches, and I feel like a lot of threes are kind of like big personalities, walk into a room, own it,
Mm,
and like steal the show. So,
hmm. No, I agree.
yeah.
See?
I have had in Houston, there's a restaurant that has a vegetarian Reuben. It is so good.
Really?
Like my mouth is watering just thinking about it,
Mm,
and
mm.
it's so good.
Do you remember what it was called?
Yeah. It's that place that's in Bryce Village.
Girl,
I can't remember what it's called,
I don't know.
but if you go to Rice Village, there's this really nice, like, it's not a vegetarian restaurant because they have meat, but it's kind of like fresh ingredients,
Hmm.
and I think their building is blue or something like that. But they have a couple vegetarian
So if you're in Houston,
meals.
look for the blue building. They'll have the Reuben.
It's across the street from a Turkish restaurant. It's right next to a Hop Daddy's. I can picture it perfectly, but I don't remember the restaurant.
Well, it's fine, I guess.
If anyone's really interested, send me a message. I can find it for you.
Okay, we're gonna move right along. So I have two more numbers, the 6 and the 8. And so for the
Mhm.
6, I said a Philly cheesesteak. And I said Philly
Mhm.
cheesesteak because their fans are very, very loyal. Like the fans of the Philly
Mm.
cheesesteak, they're very, very
Okay.
loyal. And it's arguably one
Mhm.
of the easiest going sandwiches because you can
Yeah.
get it at a mall, you can get it out on the street, you can get it like, like any like pretty much anywhere you can find a Philly cheesesteak. And so I was like, I
Yeah.
think it's perfect. And fun fact, I'm not a huge Philly cheesesteak fan, but I will get a chicken one because I think the chicken ones
Oh.
are really good. And so I feel like it's also an adaptable sandwich, like 6s.
I like how you described a sandwich as easygoing. I've never heard anyone describe a sandwich that way. Um, Bethany, you and I are different in a lot of ways, but apparently we have very similar taste in sandwiches because I'm not a big fan of Philly cheesesteak either, nor French dip, like what you were just saying.
Mhm.
So to be honest, I think I've had one like once in my life. So I can't really picture much about it. But you're absolutely right. They are literally
They
everywhere.
are. They are.
And yeah,
Yeah.
Philly cheesesteak. After you're done with this list, I have a sandwich that just came to my mind that you didn't place anywhere. So that's going to be the rapid fire one. You have to tell me where you would place
Okay.
that
Okay.
sandwich.
All right. All right. Challenge accepted. Okay. So the last one, the 8.
Mhm.
I said
Yep.
a po' boy for the 8 because
Cool.
usually they're very, very bold in flavor. It's typically some
Mhm.
kind of seafood that's got a lot of hot sauce on it,
Mhm.
but they're also
Yeah.
versatile, which I think 8s can be very
Yeah, for sure.
versatile as well. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I said a po' boy because I feel like they're the boldest sandwich out there. They're gonna kick you in the gut.
All of you who are watching on YouTube, Bethany's making a lot of hand gestures that are really funny.
I am.
Um, they're the boldest.
Now that
Um,
video is a part of this, I'm gonna be making all kinds
yeah.
of hand gestures.
Po' boy. Yeah, I think that's really. I picture a po' boy kind of being like a spicy or like at least a strong
Mhm.
flavor, even if it's not spicy, because it's so popular in places like
Right.
Louisiana and just the South in general. So yeah, I do see that being it, and it's kind of a. I don't know. The ones that I've had are kind of difficult to eat in many ways because they're either like super messy or just like the what would it's not a baguette. I
The
don't remember what kind of
hoagie bun.
the
Yeah.
hoagie bread.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
usually just kind of large.
True.
And eights, gotta love them. They are larger than life kind of
It's true.
people. And sometimes they're a little hard to swallow
It's true.
sometimes. They're honesty.
Yeah.
So I think that's perfect. Okay. Are you ready for my rapid
Shoot
fire?
it.
I actually have
Oh my
two
gosh.
sandwiches came to
Okay.
mind.
All right. You're
Okay.
stressing me out.
One Okay. First off, we just gotta go like a vegetarian sandwich. Where are you gonna put that? All the veggies. You might have
Just a
some like
vegetarian sandwich?
specialty kind of
Mhm.
stuff,
Okay.
like some bean sprouts.
Automatically, I go to 4 just
Okay, that makes sense.
It's like you said the word bean sprouts, and I was like, that's not on
Mhm.
your average sandwich, and so it's not going to be a number
Yeah.
that's not average, and so it's going to
They're usually super colorful
right,
too, like a vegetarian
right,
sandwich
right,
because
right.
they have all the
That's
veggies.
true. That's
That
true.
makes sense.
So off the mainstream a little bit. So probably a 4 would be a vegetarian sandwich.
Okay. I would agree with
Hmm.
that. Okay, and then this next one, pre-vegetarianism. This was my favorite sandwich of all
Oh
time,
my gosh.
and that's a meatball sandwich.
Really? You like a
Yeah.
meatball sandwich?
I love a meatball sub. Mm. I make them vegetarian too, but they're just not quite the same.
I've never had a meatball sandwich. Never, it's
Bethany.
never,
Bethany.
it's never been appetizing to me in the
Ah!
slightest. I'm so sorry.
And that's where our similarity ends.
Friendship over. No, a meatball. Let me think. I wanna go
It is a hearty
right,
sandwich.
but it also gives me, like, spaghetti vibes, obviously,
Yeah,
and
for
spaghetti
sure.
is one of
Yeah.
those, comfort meals, and so I go to a
Okay.
comforting number, I go to a 9,
Okay, I could
and
see a
so,
9.
like, maybe the meatball sandwich is like a 9, you know?
Yeah. Well, I feel like I know some people might scoff at a place like Subway
I love
sandwiches, but I feel
Subway.
like I do too. But I feel like at Subway, like meatball is one of the top
Mhm,
ones. Like that's just an easy peasy choice. So I could see a lot of people just saying like, I can't decide, so just meatball
mm,
because everybody likes
mhm.
the meatball.
Yeah, no, I've been in a lot of Subways, and a lot of the times there are people ordering the meatball sandwich. It is
Yeah,
popular,
yeah.
so
Well, you should try one at least someday because they're
but I
good.
get the tuna there, and their tuna is so good.
Oh, that's
I love
disgusting.
tuna. Okay. Well, on that note, um, we're gonna end this now because it's supposed to be a mini, and it's already
Yep.
17 minutes. So
I mean, it's hard because Enneagram is 9
it is.
numbers, like, you can't be super
It's
fast,
true, and
so
we have a lot of jokes, so we
yeah,
must
yeah.
say them all. Okay, well, if you enjoyed this little tiny episode, you can let us know, give us feedback. We love feedback. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube. We're gonna do TikTok like the young people uh,
Yeah.
at some point. So follow us on everything, please.
And also something I'm just throwing in right now because I literally just thought of it right now, so I'm just making the executive decision. If I think we should start doing, like, review shout outs during
Ooh,
episodes, so if you go on, like, Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything like that, or YouTube, and you leave us some sort of review or comment or whatever, we would love to shout you out.
absolutely,
So, there's some incentive there to leave us a review.
absolutely. All right, we will see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.